नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततन्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse 25. अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि। So we were seeing this verse yesterday. Avyaktoyam ayam atma avyaktah. This self is said to be unmanifest. Means it is not available for sense perception. Ayam achintyah. Atma is not an object of thought, means not an object of inference. Ayam avikaryah. This Atma is not subject to change. Vikara means a change. Is not subject to change. Tasmad, therefore, evam viditva, by knowing this, well, you should not grieve. Na anushochitum arhasi. You are not supposed to grieve. You don't deserve to grieve. It's actually, the meaning is arhasi means to deserve. You don't deserve to grieve. This is the thing. Now actually we have to see this. What is this avyaktaha? Avyaktaha, we have said yesterday, vyaktaha means which is available for sense perception. So like this pot and clip and everything, whatever is in front of you, it reveals, they are all revealed by a thought process, means by a thought. And when a thought arises of a particular, like when you are seeing a pen, and then definitely a thought pertaining to the pen arises in your mind, and Atma, which is consciousness, reflected in it, and you will get a knowledge of a pen. So that is how the pen is revealed, like this. And therefore, like this is called a sense perception. Then same way Atma cannot be revealed like this. There will be a thought pertaining to Atma, and then the Atma itself gets reflected in that thought and reveals itself. No, that's not possible. So, na tatra chakshur gacchati, because basically Atma is not an object of a sense perception. I mean, Atma, object is revealed, that's one thing, but the subject, basically, who is behind the senses, who is operating the senses, well, it cannot be revealed. And so, Atma is, see, what can become an object of a I is one, either Atma should be a color, or Atma should be something which possesses a color, either of that. Then only eyes can reveal it, otherwise not. I mean, eyes can gather the knowledge. And therefore, well, that is not there in Atma. Either Atma is not a color as such, or Atma is something which does not possess the color. And therefore, basically, Atma cannot be objectified by these eyes. That is how it is said, avyaktaha. So basically it wants to say that Atma or Paramatma cannot be known through the senses. Now it creates a very serious question as such, because even if you look into Bhagavad Gita itself, we find that this particular thing what Bhagavan is saying looks contradictory. There was once a discussion between one Vedantic Acharya and one Vaishnava, person. Vaishnava saint was there, and one ordinary person, a devotee. All the three were sitting. And then this devotee asked to the Vaishnava saint, what? That I would like to see the Ishvara with the help of my eyes. That's what he thought. And is it possible or not? Then this Vaishnava saint said, no, it's not possible. With these eyes, I mean the eyes which is made up of the elements, physical eye, let's say. With that physical eye, you cannot see Ishvara. That's how it is been told. It is basically Ishvara can be seen only through the divine eyes. That's called Divya Chakshu. That's a word even in the chapter 11. So, Ishvara can be seen through not this elemental eye or the physical eye. Ishvara can be seen only through this eyes, through our divine eyes. So, this is how the Vaishnava saint put the thing. So then he asked that how can I get this divine, eyes, etc. Then he also gave a illustration of Miraji. She was a very great devotee of Lord Krishna, and so the devotee said, well, oh dear sir, how did Mira, I think the Mira was not having this divine eyes. How did she see that Lord Krishna? Then this person, the saint, said, no. Even Mira was having a divine eyes, and even Goswami ji also was having a divine eyes, and therefore basically that is through the divine eyes only, and therefore if you want to have a darshana of a Paramatma, definitely you should have a divine eyes. And then he also said to the devotee, the Vaishnava saint said to devotee also that this just adjacent to the Mira, that Ranaji was also standing, but Ranaji did not get the darshanam. He could not see Lord Krishna, and then Bhagavan, because of Bhagavan's grace, he was able to see the Lord. That is how this was a discussion. And then this discussion was going on. This Vedantic teacher was listening to both. And then this devotee turned towards this Vedantic Acharya, because they could not solve this. Then he said, the devotee said to, asked to this person, he asked to this Vedantika Acharya that you please decide. I want to have a darshana of a Lord Krishna. Whether these eyes are sufficient or I should have a divine eyes. Then, then Vedantika Acharya, he is a Vedantika Acharya. So he said, well, Bhagavan could be seen with these eyes also, and Bhagavan could be seen with the divine eyes also. And if you really push me a little further, I would say Bhagavan cannot be seen with these eyes or with the divine eyes. He gave three answers. Bhagavan could be seen with this physical eye, Bhagavan could be seen with this divine eyes, and Bhagavan cannot be seen either by physical eyes or either by this divine eyes. Then this devotee asked, how is it possible? Because it looks very, very, contradictory. Then he explained, Vedantic teacher explained this. See, he said Meera and Goswami both definitely were having a divine eyes, we accept. But the people who were living in Vraj, like all these gopis, etc., they were having a simple eyes. With this physical eyes, they have seen the Ishvara. And therefore, what they have seen was not Ishvara, you cannot tell, because the way they related to the Krishna was showing that they were looking upon Krishna. If you want to see whether what was there in a gopi's mind towards Krishna, of course there was a love. But definitely if you go to a Bhagavatam and see the Gopi Gita, you will find that they have worshipped Bhagavan as a Ishvara. They were looking upon Krishna as a Ishvara. And therefore, so this gopis, etc. also, you may say that they have a divine eyes. Okay. What about Kamsa? Mathura king Kamsa, because Kamsa also got ultimately mukti. He got liberated after getting killed by Krishna. And it has been narrated very beautifully. Different devotees gain the liberation by various means, even by hating, even by fear. Bhayat Kamsa, they said. Because of the fear of a Krishna, he was constantly thinking about Krishna in his mind. Who? Kamsa. And after getting killed by Krishna, definitely he was liberated. So definitely Kamsa also must have looked upon him as a Bhagavan. Then definitely he was having this the physical eye only. This physical eye is called Charma Chakshuhu in Sanskritam. Divine eyes is called Divya Chakshuhu in Sanskritam. Sometimes, suppose in case if I use like this Charma Chakshuhu, don't get confused. Anyway, and if you say even Kamsa has got divine eyes, people may go extrapolate. But anyway, what about the Mathura, people of the Mathuras, people of the Dwarika? All these people, they were having a simple eyes but still they have looked upon Krishna as a Parmeshwara. Means that is correct that with this physical eyes also you can have a darshanam of Paramatma. That's possible. Now that is the first thing. Second thing now. With the help of, so what Vedantic teacher told in answer to the devotee, do you remember? He said with the help of these eyes also you can see Parmeshwara. With this physical eyes. With the divine eyes also you can see. And to see Ishvara, either of them is not sufficient. So, he has answered one portion, that with the help of this elemental eyes or the physical eye, with the help of Charma Chakshu, you can have a darshanam of Paramatma. Now second thing, that with the help of divine eyes also you can see Ishvara. And the example is Arjuna. That's very, everyone knows that. Well, when Arjuna was looking up to the Krishna, at that time Shri Krishna was, even before he got a Divya Chakshu, whether he was looking upon Krishna as a Parmeshwara or not. Well, if you say he was not looking upon Krishna as a Parmeshwara, you cannot say that, because otherwise, from the Bhagavad Gita, from the beginning itself, Vyasacharya ji says Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. If Arjuna was not looking, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha and Arjuna Uvacha, two things are there. So if he was not Bhagavan, then definitely Vyasacharya ji would have said Shri Krishna Uvacha. But even the second chapter also you will find Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. And therefore, well, Shri Krishna was a Lord, and Arjuna was looking upon him as a Lord. And then why Arjuna was given, so he was looking with these eyes, he was looking upon Krishna as a Lord. Why he should have been given this Divya Chaksha? Why? For what he was given? Because that's the answer given by Bhagavan in the 11th chapter. Natu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram. O Arjuna, you cannot see me with your this charma chakshu, and therefore I am giving you a divya chakshu. With the help of that, divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogam aishwaram. With the help of that, you look up, you can see my Aishwarya. You can see my glory. I am a Ishvara and I possess Aishwarya called glory. Well, and you can see that with the help of this Divya Chakshu. Well, so even it was given that, before that, in Arjuna's eyes, was Krishna was Lord or not? Yet this is really a complicated question. But natumam shakyase. So Bhagavan said, Mam, you are not able to see me with the help of these physical eyes. That is the one question. The second question is, what is this Divya Chakshu? What is the divine Chakshu? Divine eyes means what? What's the difference between the physical eye and divine eyes? What's the difference? Is there a particular kind of, goggles or something? A particular kind of spectacles, like if you want to see some 3D movie in IMAX theater, you should wear that kind of, otherwise you will not be able to see. So is it some kind of a spectacles, or Bhagavan gave some kind of a divine power in his eyes? What is this Divya Chakshu? Well, and if you say the Bhagavan has increased his power, Bhagavan has made his seeing power divine, let's say. Arjuna's seeing power divine, let's say that way. Then, and with the help of that, he has seen that cosmic form. Okay, that's correct. But then, why for the same Arjuna, how this cosmic form darshanam was over? He could not see cosmic form later. Why? If the power was given there, he would see all the time the cosmic form, but he was not able to see later. So, what is the reason? So, Bhagavan has taken that Divya Chakshu back from the Arjuna or what? And then if he has taken back, then Arjuna would not have, don't worry, even if I am going in so many questions, I am going to answer in a simple form. But just listen. Even suppose Bhagavan has taken the power back, divine power, or the Divya Chakshu he has taken back from the Arjuna, then this cosmic form, darshanam, would be no more for the Arjuna. But then Arjuna did a prayer to Bhagavan after seeing the cosmic form, and he saw this Bhishma and whole army and everyone was getting killed in his mouth. And so he was so disgusted and got so much fear that he said, Tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava. You become a, chaturbhuja with four hands. I mean, and with a beautiful form, Vishnu's form. He said that instead of that, he should have said, take away this divine power from me. Instead, he said, from this cosmic form, you come down to the human form with four hands, etc. This divine power is dangerous, you take it away. He did not say that way. So, and Bhagavan, who is in the form of Bhagavan, who is having a cosmic form, definitely he cannot become like just a human form. And therefore, all this indicates we have to understand this. What is this Divya Chakshu? Divya Chakshu, I mean, from the standpoint of the devotees and from the standpoint of the Jnanis, they both look upon this Divya Chakshu differently. That's what I am saying. Now, the devotees look upon this Divya Chakshu as nothing but a intense devotion towards the Lord. So, Bhagavan himself said in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyattvananyaya shakyah aham evam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum na cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. With the help of Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means I am non-separate from the Lord. I am non-separate from the Lord. All the time one who thinks in this manner, well, then you can, Bhagavan says, you can really know me. Who am I in reality? What's my real nature? You can know me. Only you have such kind of a devotion in which you all the time think that I am non-separate from Ishvara. Well, that's a different thing. So Bhagavan says, Jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum. Praveshtum, you can enter into me like that. Well, an Arjuna had not entered into that cosmic form. If you see the narration in the 11th chapter, you will find many names, but you won't find that Arjuna was there in a cosmic form. No, Arjuna was not in a cosmic form. That was a question of Abdul Kalam also to our Pujya Swamiji. When Pujya Swamiji was called, Abdul Kalam was interested in, he was quite interested in Bhagavad Gita, and he called Pujya Swamiji, and then he asked about this cosmic form only. And Pujya Swamiji explained also it was a cosmic form. It is not a cosmic form because the Arjuna himself was not included in that. Anyway, that's by the way. So this Divya Chakshu means intense devotion, of course. But this is, I am non-separate from the Lord, etc. is basically a knowledge. And here, other than that, the intense devotion must be there. That is how devotees look upon Arjuna's Divya Chakshu. They say Arjuna was having an intense devotion towards the Lord, and therefore he could see this cosmic form. But basically he remained away from that form, and therefore still that Ananya Bhakti is not there. Ananya Bhakti means I am non-separate from the Lord. I will be included in the Lord. Well, that is not there. That is how even devotees look upon the Divya Chakshu of a Arjuna. And we need not go to understand this Divya Chakshu up to that Arjuna's time. Or we need not go to any history. In fact, we are having a Divya Chakshu, or we can develop the Divya Chakshu from the standpoint of this devotion and devotees. See, when you go to the temple, what darshanam you are doing? Well, in the temple you are seeing with this physical eye, you are just seeing a form. And if it is made up of marble, with these eyes you are seeing a marble idol, nothing else. And you say, no, with these eyes I am seeing Lord. Then other than you, all other living beings are also there. Sometime in India, it is possible, you find even the cats who are running around, or the even these rats, cats and rats and all that, and squirrels also move around. There is one temple in Rajasthan where there are thousands and thousands of rats are there in the temple itself, and nobody disturb them. They move around here and there in the whole temple. You have to walk carefully. You cannot drive them away. That's considered papam. And therefore, this is, although they also have the charma chakshu, physical eye. If you say with these eyes you are seeing Ishvara, then they also have the eyes. Are they seeing Ishvara or not? If you are with these eyes seeing Ishvara, then they are also seeing Ishvara. Then they will not move, they will not, run on the head of Ishvara. Definitely not. And therefore, with this help of these eyes, we are not seeing that whatever may be. Maybe let's say the Narayana and Lakshmi is there. So with this help of these eyes, you are not seeing Narayana. Then what? With the help of these eyes, you are seeing just a marble. What? And so Divya Chakshu is basically your devotion. Intense devotion only converts this idol into Ishvara. And in that also there are two types of devotion. If you have because sometimes people ask that, Swamiji, we go to temple, but we look upon him as a god, but we don't have that great devotion towards him. That's correct. So devotion also, in that there is an intensity. That's how I use the word intense devotion. With the help of a simple devotion that he is Ishvara, etc. Well, you see him not just as a idol of marble, etc. You definitely worship, you definitely prostrate, salutations, etc. you do. That shows that you have a Divya Chakshu, but not that your Chakshus are not fully developed to see him as a Lord. But intense devotion is there, then you get special darshanam of Ishvara, even though the idol is there. But that is, Swamiji, what is the reality of this? Ultimately, reality is it's an idol. It's basically, it is just a marble, nothing else. And so this devotion, etc., that bhavana they call, it is basic. It is not correct, because you are superimposing on that idol which is not there. So then, how will you understand this? So we say, especially in the temples, well, with the help of all the rituals and etc., well, it has been converted into not just an idol. An idol is converted to Ishvara. And therefore, that is called Vaidha Bhavana. Means, with the help of all the rituals, etc., elaborate rituals are there. They do prana pratishtha, etc., and with the help of that, well, it has been converted to Ishvara. And therefore, converted to Ishvara means it has been, they have superimposed through the Shastra, etc., that this idol is no more just a marble, it is Ishvara. And that is how they do all the upacharas, even during a day, considering as not just as a marble. They offer naivedyam, they offer the arti and everything, they do arti, etc. They do abhishekam, etc. Well, not that considering that it is they are not doing abhisheka on marble, they are doing abhisheka on Ishvara. Because of this Shastra vidhis, etc., the rituals, and through that it has been converted like this. That's one thing. And so even whenever you go to temple, even you don't have a great devotion, etc., intense devotion, still with your simple devotion also, you look upon this as more than that idol, that is Ishvara. Now, that is so it's a development of a Divya Chakshu, development of a divine eyes, or divine power in the eyes, whatever. Now, another thing also is there. But Swamiji, other than that, in the world we always go by reality or not? No. Everywhere you do this kind of a bhavana. Bhavana means what is not there, you superimpose upon that. And take this two things. There is a dollar bill. It is simply a paper. If somebody says that it is simply in the temple it is simply a marble, I would say a dollar bill also is a simple paper. Simple paper. The simple paper is converted into a money. How? How it has been converted? The reality is it's a paper. How can a currency, this is just a paper, well, suppose there is this paper. This paper is there. Even if I tell you, look upon this paper as a $100 bill, you say, Swami, you are a mad guy. So even if I say that, you won't agree with me. But if dollar bill is there, it's also paper like that. Dollar bill also is a paper. This is also paper. But dollar bill is looked upon as a money. Why? Or a rupees particular note is looked upon as a money. Why? Because there also a ritual has taken place. That is why. There also a ritual has taken place. What ritual? The governor signs that. And governor says what, Suppose if it is a 500 rupee note. Governor writes on it, I promise to pay the bearer the sum of 500 rupees. And he signs. That's a ritual that converts this paper into a money. Even though reality is money, with the help of that bhavana, well, the bhavana has been done by governor or by the government, whatever. And afterwards, all the people in the world, all the people look upon this as not just as a paper, they look upon this as a money. So that is how a simple paper gets converted to a valuable. A non-valuable thing becomes a highly valuable thing by this kind of a ritual. Same way, simple marble, idol becomes so important through the rituals of Shastra, etc. And therefore, definitely there is a devotion. You look upon, you superimpose, let's say, a Ishvara on this idol. Same way you superimpose a money on the paper. And that is how basically the Divya Chakshu is one. Is through the particular procedure, as if you superimpose the Ishvara upon something. Well, that is okay. So here now let's go to our question. Therefore, in simple idol, even if we look upon the Ishvara, we have a bhavana of a Ishvara, but what about this Rama and Krishna, etc.? The avatars have been taking place in the previous yugas, etc. What about that? So, whether they have, a lot of people have come in contact with Rama, a lot of people have come in contact with Krishna, all were looking upon them as a Ishvara or not? That was a question. Well, definitely they were looking upon as a Ishvara, but they were not knowing the real nature of Ishvara. Why? Why they were not knowing? Because the Ishvara has come with a particular dress and he was wearing that dress, and so what actually the person is was not seen by those people. What was that dress? The Maya was his dress. Through the Maya, like the space people, when the people they go in space shuttle, before that they meet on the ground, all the people, and they may meet even in the space, the shuttle also when they go up. and that dress is complete from top to bottom. You cannot see the person, you can only see the dress. Still, when they meet each other, they always feel they have met the people. They don't say we have met the dresses. They say we have met the people, even though you are not able to see anything of the person, because they are completely covered under the cloth, the dress. And therefore, same way when Paramatma comes as an avatar, he always have this dress, and therefore whoever comes in contact with him, they do not know the real nature of Ishvara, but definitely they have a darshanam of Ishvara with this dress. Like you meet a particular, the person who is going in the space shuttle, and he must have wear the complete dress. Still you say, I have met that person. Even though you have not seen the person as such without the dress, but still you say, I have met the person. Same way the people at that time in Dwapara or in Treta, whoever has come either in contact with Krishna or Rama, they definitely have met Ishvara, but not in his real nature. Not in his real nature. He has always covered himself and came down. That is what even in the chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, very beautifully described by Bhagavan himself, that I willed my own Maya and take I descend on the earth. So even Duryodhana, Ravana, everyone was having a darshan. Duryodhana was having a darshanam of a Krishna, and Ravana was having a darshanam of a Rama, etc. But Bhagavan himself said in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakashas sarvasya yoga maya samavrutaha. With my yoga maya, I have completely covered myself, and therefore I am Naham prakashaha. I am not available to them in my real nature. So that is how. And then how to remove that dress and see the Lord in his real nature, in its true nature. How we will know that? Bhagavan says, Mamevaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Mamevaye prapadyante. If you surrender to Ishvara, definitely Bhagavan opens himself, and he is covered under the dress of Maya. He removes the cover of Maya for the people who surrenders. So anyway, then this was a discussion going on. Then this devotee said, I understood now that Bhagavan can be seen with the help of even this physical eye. But he is covered under the Yoga Maya. And I can understand also through the example of Arjuna that, if we have intense devotion, etc., we can see even the Aishwarya of the Lord. We can see the glory of Lord like Arjuna saw in a cosmic form. That is also we can see. So, all these Dwarika people also has seen Krishna. Arjuna has also seen Krishna. The difference between them is those people have seen with the help of physical eyes. Arjuna has seen with the help of divine eyes. Arjuna could see Bhagavan's cosmic form. Bhagavan's form in which and if you see the narration in the chapter 11, really you feel that what a form. Arjuna himself said that I could not see. Wherever in any quarter I am seeing, I see all your faces. And so what a form it must be. It's a cosmic form with a lot of glories, etc. And so with the help of divine eyes like Arjuna, and same Krishna was available for all other people. It may be Kamsa, or it may be Duryodhana, it may be Yudhishthira, or any people. In just a human form. That is also, with the help of, it is a Mayic form. It has been covered with the dress of Maya. And this cosmic form also is covered with the Maya. That is also this cosmic form also is along with the Maya. But he could see the glory of Ishvara. Definitely, that way he was having a Divya Chakshu. So I understood. This devotee said, I have understood. This with the help of Charma Chakshu also we can see. With the help of Divya Chakshu also we can see. The difference in that form of Ishvara is because of the Chakshu only. One can see just a human form, one can see a cosmic form. Well, we understood it. But you were saying that ultimately Ishvara is not available in its true nature through, through this, any of this eyes. I mean, through Charma Chakshu also he could not be seen, and through Divya Chakshu also he could not be seen. How it is possible? No, because it's a contradictory. You only said Ishvara is seen with the help of Divya Chakshu. Ishvara can be seen with the help of Charma Chakshu. And then you said Ishvara cannot be seen in its true nature with the help of Charma Chakshu or Divya Chakshu. How is it possible? Then this Vedantic teacher explained that this Paramatma cannot be illumined by any sense organ. That's what our answer is here, avyaktaha. So for that we have taken this discussion. I mean, Paramatma is not available for any sense perception. I mean, Paramatma cannot be illumined. I mean, if I make it a little more clear, Paramatma cannot be illumined by any light. Any light. Either a light from the senses or from the physical world, no light can illumine Ishvara. No, I mean, it cannot be known by any kind of a light. Then we have to understand this a little more. First, let us forget about Ishvara now. See, you can answer me this question: whether ears can hear a sound or sound can hear the ears. So, what question you are doing? We are not gathered here to answer your foolish questions. Well, I am again asking you whether ears can hear the sound or sound can hear the ears. So, very simple. Ears can hear the sound. Actually, both are born of the same element. Both are born of the Akasha element. The sound is also born of the Akasha element. It's an attribute of the Akasha. And this Indriya also is born of Akasha. Which Indriya? Organ of hearing is born of Akasha. Now I can tell very well, because in Tattva Bodha we have seen that. So it is born of, it's coming, of course. We have covered only Indriyas, but how Indriyas are born, it is to be covered. So, but it is there, don't worry. So here, the Akasha element, from the Sattvic aspect of the Akasha element, this particular organ of hearing is born, and the sound also is an attribute of Akasha. So both are as though generated from Akasha. Still, one is able to illumine the other is not able to illumine this thing. So one is an object, other is a subject. One who illuminates is this organ of hearing, and what is illumined is the sound. And this is way, in other cases also it is true. Like, the color and the eyes. If I ask you, eyes see the color or the color sees the eyes? Swamiji, it's simple. Eyes see the color. Basically, the color or the form is born of the fire element, and this also is, this eyes also, organ of seeing, sight, is also born of a fire element. Still, there is a difference. Even though they are born of same element, still there is a difference. And that is how, even in the sense, sparsha also, rasa and gandha everywhere, this thing is all the time there. Same way you can ask, this, organ of touch. Well, this, it illumines the touch, not that the touch illumines the organ. Anyway, so even though they have a saman dharma, both are basically from the Akasha itself, then still one is a Vishayi and the other is Vishaya. One is object one is illumined, other is illuminator, etc. etc. Now comes to Atma. And then with respect to Atma, there is a statement in Kenopanishad, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vachoha Vacham Sau Pranasya Pranaha Chakshushas Chakshu Atimuchya Dhiraha Pretyasman Loka Amrita Bhavanti. This Atma is a Shrotra of a Shrotra. Atma is a ear of a ear. Atma is a eye of a eye. Atma is a smell of a smell, organ of smell. Atma is a smell of even organ of smell. Atma is a taste of a taste. What is this? What is this? Basically it says that the Shrotrendriya is illumined and Atma is illuminator. That's all. Shrotrasya Shrotram. If you say the sound is heard by the Shrotram, but then Atma is a Shrotrasya Shrotram. So ear is basically hearing the sound. Ear picks up the sound. Ear is an illuminator of sound. But the very ear is picked up by Atma. Shrotrasya Shrotram. The earness in this organ is basically because of Atma. That's what it means. And so the Atma becomes as the subject and the Shrotrendriya becomes a object because it is illumined by the self. Self is illuminator. Self is illuminator. This organ of hearing is illumined. Organ of hearing becomes illuminator and the sound becomes sound is illumined. This is how it is. But the very beautiful definition of Atma in Kenopanishad in the very second verse, Shrotrasya Shrotram, Chakshushas Chakshu. Atma is an eye of an eye. Means what? Atma is basically, if you say the eye illumines the form or a color, then eye itself is illumined by self. And therefore, Atma is a eye of an eye. So beautiful definition. A direct approach to the, revealing the nature of Atma. So Atma becomes a Vishayi. In Sanskritam they call like this. You should know few terms. Of course, many of my friends must be knowing also. Atma is a Vishayi and I is a Vishaya. I is a Vishayi and the form is Vishaya. Vishaya means object and object of knowledge. And I is considered as a knower. Where I itself is object of knowledge, Atma is a knower. Very simple to understand, but first let me finish it off, then I will come to that. Why I am describing is basically our whole goal is Atma cannot be illumined by any sense organs. That's all my purpose is to go. Therefore, because Bhagavan has said avyaktaha, in that by using this word, he has told so many things. Anyway, so all the time, any Vishaya, any object of knowledge cannot illumine the illuminator. We have seen this already. What is objectified is not going to objectify the objectifier. What is illumined is not going to illumine the illuminator. What is illumined cannot illumine. Let's simplify it. What is illumined cannot illumine the illuminator. Vishaya cannot illumine the Vishayi. That's all it means. And therefore, as the sound cannot hear the ears, well, these ears cannot hear Atma. Ears cannot get the knowledge of Atma. Ears will not work. That's what it means. So same way like Chakshu also, Atma is one which illumines, and that's how in morning meditation also I have given you this meditation. Well, you are able to see the senses you are able to know the senses, whatever may be. It may be functioning, it may be non-functioning, or it may be malfunctioning, etc. Everything is illumined by the self. And therefore, Atma is one who is illuminator of these senses. They are illumined. They cannot illumine the illuminator. And therefore, with any sense perception, Atma cannot be illumined. Atma cannot be known. Avyaktaha means it cannot be known. Our senses cannot come in contact with Atma anytime. Anyway, so you can take an example if you want. Like if the sunlight falls on a mirror, sunlight falls on the moon also. And well, in the night, this moonlight illumines the whole creation. And during day, this mirror on which the sunlight falls, that mirror illumines whatever comes in its way. So let the light, of the mirror or let the light of a moon illumine the respective world. But either of them is not capable of illumining the sun, because the sun is the illuminator who illumines both. So what they are illumined? What? Moon and the mirror. And if they are illumined, well, they cannot illumine the illuminator. Same way, Atma is the illuminator. Atma reveals the senses, the function of senses, malfunction of senses, non-function of senses, and therefore these senses can never illumine the illuminator. And that is how it has been told. Then how Atma is illumined? Well, definitely you have to remove the cover. Remove the cover. That's how Atma is illumined. Because you say the senses cannot illumine the Atma. Then how Atma is illumined? Who reveals the Atma? So that we will have to say, you remove the cover, then Atma, which is self-illumining, self-revealing, gets revealed. Now how, give an example. Yeah. That is, you take a diamond, which is a raw diamond. And whenever we take an example, we should take the most precious. So Kohinoor, let us take the Kohinoor. But it's a raw. Just think of that way. And when it is raw, it looks like a simple stone of no value. But then they do polishing, right? They do a polishing with a special type of brush they do. And after that rubbing, etc., with the help of brush, they rub the surface, etc., and you will find then the same stone which was not having any shining, etc., starts the shining. It's glazing lot. So the glaze which was there, or the shining which was there, light which was there, now manifested. That's how we have to say. So earlier, why it was, even though it was there, why earlier it was not seen? Because there was a cover. But as a, let's take this way, the brush itself, because ultimately you are applying a brush, you are rubbing with the brush. In the brush itself, there must be this kind of a glaze which has been imparted on the diamond. Why can't we take that way? Well, that is, if you use the same brush, instead of on diamond, you take a book. You take a book and you apply on it, and you will find whatever even the glaze is there in the book will go. And therefore, brush cannot provide any kind of a shining. The shining which was there in the diamond, well, now it has manifested. The cover has gone, the avaranam has etc. gone, and therefore, basically, the one which was self-shining, as though was not shining before, and after removing this cover or obstruction, well, it starts shining. And it happens not only in the case of even diamond, in case of even our floor also, they put all this, our tiles, etc. And well, without polish, they were not shining much. And after the polishing, they remove that roughness, etc. And the same now, the tiles, etc. start shining. So Atma also is basically a self-shining, self-revealing, and well, it has been covered. We covered with cloth? No, 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 no. Not covered with cloth. That is it covered with ignorance. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam. And therefore, ajnanena avrutam jnanam, as though ajnanam has covered the Brahman. Ajnanam cannot cover the Brahman, but you take it this at this. I mean, right now. Like a cloud cannot cover, we say the cloud, say since the clouds have come, they have covered the sun. Sun can never be covered by a small cloud. The sun, which is even bigger, thousands of times bigger than the earth, how can a small cloud can cover? It can never cover. Vedanta Sara gives this beautiful example. They say the clouds cannot cover the sun. Clouds cover our vision of the sun. That's all it means. Same way, this ignorance cannot cover the Brahman. Ignorance, because of ignorance, our vision is covered. The self-confusion is there because of ignorance. Ignorance cannot cover. And so the self-illumining, self-revealing Brahman is not known as it is. Anyway, and therefore, basically, the self-revealing thing, Atma, need not be illumined by anything. You have then, but what these words of Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita are doing? They are doing this thing only. They don't illumine. If sense organs cannot illumine, well, the words of the Veda illumines the Brahman. Never say that. Never say. So otherwise also it doesn't become a Swayam Prakasha. Brahman is dependent upon the words of Veda. It's not true. Brahman is all the time self-revealing, self-shining. Because of Brahman, all the Vedas shine, basically. But anyway, Brahman, I mean, the words of Veda reveal, I mean, they generate a Jnana Vritti, they generate knowledge, and knowledge is opposed to the ignorance, and therefore the ignorance, so-called cover on the Brahman of ignorance, well, it goes away, and the self-revealing Brahman shines at the same place. I was telling I am ignorant, or I am a jiva. Now the same person says, the same location he says, I am Brahman. I am self-revealing, self-shining Brahman, self-existent, limitless consciousness. And therefore, avyaktaha, sense organs definitely cannot reveal Atma. So, vyaktaha means manifest. With the help of a sense organs, sense perception, things are revealed, but in case of Brahman. Other than Brahman, everything is revealed through the sense perception. That's correct, but not Brahman. Avyaktaha. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha. Well, eyes cannot reach to Brahman. This vag, na vag gacchati. See? Na vag gacchati. Vag means words. Words cannot reach there. Means don't think this words of the Upanishad reaches to the Brahman and illumines them. Never think so. They just remove the ignorance. Well, and that's how the self-confusion goes, and you say now I am Brahman. And na manaha, well, never think that it becomes an object of mind. Well, we are going to discuss this on Monday. That's a little separate topic where Bhagavan is going to tell achintya, where we have to discuss this part also. It can never become an object of mind also. This is where, so we have covered now avyaktaha. Achintyaha also I have to tell you few more things in which there is the inference etc. is involved, and I have to share with you. Different types of inferences are there, and none of them is able to reveal Brahman. Anyway, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.